Mystery 6: The Empty Fridge. The Maroa Cafe opened at 8 on Saturdays. Miss Brenda was usually there by 6:30. This Saturday, she called Mr. Garrett at the hardware store at 7:55. Mr. Garrett told his son. His son told James. James told David and Ann. By 8:15, all three of them were at the cafe. Miss Brenda stood behind the counter, arms folded. All the fillings were gone. Every container of whipped cream, too. The cash drawer was untouched. The front windows were intact. The back door had been locked when she left Friday night. No scratches around the keyhole. No damage to the frame. Only 3 keys existed. One for Miss Brenda, one for Carla Dinn, one for Mr. Holtz. Saturday lunch was the busiest service of the week. Without pie fillings, there would be no pies. David checked the lock. Anne opened her notebook. James leaned into the refrigerator. The freezer beside it was untouched. The back door showed no signs of forced entry. The deadbolt turned smoothly. Whoever entered had used a key. Anne wrote that down. The refrigerator shelves were clean. No spills, no containers left open. Whatever had been taken was carefully removed. Near the back threshold, a faint white smear crossed the tile, about the width of a container's base. It had dried at the edges. Anne crouched and touched it lightly with the edge of a napkin, powdery at first glance. She stood and sniffed the napkin. Not flour. There was a faint sour smell underneath. She wrote that down too. The freezer was untouched. Pie crust stacked neatly inside, all accounted for. On the bottom left shelf, pushed toward the back, sat a plain white ceramic crock with a lid. Anne asked what it was. Banana, Miss Brenda said. She transferred it out of the supplier container and stored it separately. Anne wrote that down as well. David closed the refrigerator door. The suspects. Carla Dinn. Has her own key. Argued about changing the Saturday menu. Works daily with flour, powdered sugar, and cream. Says she went straight home Thursday. Mr. Holtz. Has a delivery key. Lost part of his weekly contract. Arrived early Saturday morning. Drives a refrigerated truck. Miss Brenda. Has a key. Controls inventory and ordering. First person to report the loss. Mentioned she had done inventory late Friday. The meeting. All three sat in the back booth. Anne asked questions. David listened. Carla repeated that she had not returned after Thursday. She'd mentioned testing some mousse earlier in the week and cleaning up flour near the back counter. Holtz described unlocking the back door early and seeing the empty shelves. Miss Brenda repeated that everything had been taken. Insurance was mentioned briefly. Miss Brenda doubted it would cover the food loss. Holtz shook his head. Rough way to start a Saturday. At least you still got the banana. Miss Brenda said she supposed that was something. The questioning continued. Nothing else shifted. Miss Brenda walked them out. Your turn. Someone used the key, emptied that refrigerator, and walked away. Who was it? A. Carla. B. Mr. Holtz. C. Miss Brenda. Pause the video if you need extra time. The solve in 3, 2, 1. The solve. They stood on the sidewalk. Anne closed her notebook. Miss Brenda had told them that all the fillings were gone. No one corrected that statement in front of the group. James looked up slowly. David went back inside. He sat down across from Mr. Holtz. "How did you know the banana was still there?" he asked. Holtz looked at his clipboard. Then he flattened it on the table. He said he had come early. He had taken the containers. He needed the money. Miss Brenda reached for the phone. The answer. It was Mr. Holtz. Miss Brenda told everyone that all the fillings were gone. She never corrected that statement in front of all three suspects. The banana filling was stored separately in a plain ceramic crock. Only someone who had been inside the refrigerator long enough to see what remained would know it had not been taken. When Mr. Holtz said that at least the banana was still there, he revealed knowledge that had not been publicly stated. He should not have known that. The white smear near the door had looked powdery at first, which pointed toward baking, but it carried a faint sour smell, more consistent with dairy than flour. The door had been locked. Only 3 keys existed. He had one of them. David did not need to explain the logic. He only needed to ask the one question Mr. Holtz could not answer. And that was enough.